Hi everyone, good evening. This is April Davis. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin Up in Spring Hill, Kansas, and welcome to my Facebook Live. Today is Thursday, December 28th at 7 p.m. and I'm just double checking to make sure that I have gone live, and I have. So welcome. So glad to see everybody. If you're joining me, please just say hello in the comments so that I know that you're there. There's so much to talk about tonight. This is the end of the year, and I've reflected on everything that I've done this year. I decided to build my business this year. I've been a demonstrator for many years. I've been a demonstrator many times, but this year was the year that I decided to build my business, and I'm so glad I have, because I've met so many amazing people and had so much fun with this. And looking at where I started in January to where I am here today, the end of December, my business has grown and will only continue to grow, but I'm so thankful to all of you. Excuse me. So let's get started. I've got a lot to share with you. I think the first thing that I want to share with you guys, and I'm going to change the screen so you guys can see, give me just a second, is I wanted to share some of the amazing cards that I got this holiday season. You guys were creating, and I've just got a few that I wanted to share. The first one is one that my mom made, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but she did some embossing. She used a Stampin' Up die, and she actually got creative and used an actual ribbon. It's not a Stampin' Up ribbon, but I love the fact that she was so creative. The card is beautiful. Thank you, Mom. Then I have Jenny, who shared this nativity card with me. She embossed the background. She stamped and embossed the background. And then she did her nativity in a non-traditional color. And I love the fact that you guys are starting to go rogue and explore your colors and everything. And of course, the nativity is the reason for this season. So I'm really excited that Jenny shared her card with me. And then Pam shared an Oh Holy Night card. It's a beautiful, simplistic card. She's got some embellishments on the side, a really pretty gold band across the front of the card with the Oh Holy Night in front of it. But just such a really pretty card. And then last, I wanted to share Kara's card. Kara, I have just seen her blossom, if you will, with her stamping. And I love the fact that she shared her card with me. She incorporated a lot of different things in it, her die cuts, her various layers, her ribbon, and it's beautiful. Kara, thank you for sharing this with me. And thank you all for sharing. So the other thing that I wanted to share with you is how busy I have been. I am off this week. My company takes a winter shutdown. And so I actually have the week between Christmas and New Year's off. So of course, because of that, I've been doing a lot of creating myself. And while my mom was here assisting or visiting for the holiday, she was actually assisting me here in my craft room, because I was doing a number of what we call swaps. And basically we'll make up a number of cards and then we'll swap with each other. And so I'd signed up to do 3 different swaps. And the first swap actually highlights 2 of the new stamp sets in the new mini catalog, Notes of Nature and Thoughtful Expressions. So what I did is I combined the 2 stamp sets together, and you can see where I stamped my background. I stamped the bird from the Thoughtful Expressions, and then this pops open, just a little note to say hello, and then you can write your note in here. So this was swap number 1 that I did. Then I selected the flower cart stamp set from our mini catalog as well, and this was my flower cart card that I'm sharing. So I made 21 of each of these cards, so 21 of these flower carts, and I have to say I couldn't have done it without my mom. My mom was right there die cutting all of these pieces while I was assembling, so I appreciate her help so much. And then the last one is from our celebration catalog. It actually is 2 different celebration rewards, if you will, that go together. And it's the Jungle Pals, and then the Jungle Pals also you can select dies to go with your Jungle Pals as well. It's 2 different rewards, but you have the dies that go with it as well. So I decided to create this little hello there card with my little tiger. The tiger is actually stamped on DSP, and then I used the DSP for my background, and then the rest of it's die cut and embossed. And again, my mom was right there to help me with all of that. So I've been busy with these, but the swaps are all done and ready to go. Let me put these over here out of the way. And then today I've been working on a number of things, getting ready for the new year and my to-go classes. But I have 2 grandsons who have birthdays coming up. And so out of the regular catalog, we have a set called Reach for the Stars. And when I saw it, initially it didn't really do much for me, I'll be honest with you, but I thought, I bet I could do something fun with this for my grandson. So I went ahead and got it, and I'm so glad that I did. So glad. It has been so fun. So this is for my grandson, Lauren. His birthday was actually Christmas Day, but their family is celebrating it this Saturday. So I have this card for him, and it opens up like this. Hopefully you can see that, but it's just so colorful. And we've got the astronaut on the front of it. Excuse me, my nose is itching. And then I have his brother has a January birthday. He was born on the 22nd of January. So I wanted to make him a card as well. And I didn't want him to feel left out because I'd made a space card for Lauren. So I made a card for him as well with the space shuttle blasting off. And then inside you can see it's a pop-up card. So we've got the astronaut and the planets and everything. And again, I just think it's so pretty because of all the bright colors. So I think both of my grandsons will enjoy this. And I had so much fun creating these cards. But I'm not done. I'm still creating. I've still got tomorrow, and then I've got Sunday. We're going to be in Andover for the birthday party on Saturday, but then I've got Sunday and Monday that I get to create. So I'm really excited about all of that. But let's talk about some of the things that are going on with Stampin' Up before I get into the actual to-go class that we're doing. So I'm going to switch screens again. Give me just a second. Let's do this. All right, very good. I wanted to remind everybody that we have the last chance product sale still going on. You can get up to 60% off. This started in November. It goes through January 3rd. Our new catalog starts on January the 1st, or excuse me, January the 4th. So you've got just a few more days to take advantage of that. One of the things that we're doing today is we are actually utilizing one of the last chance products. It actually is a template that I wanted to utilize, and I just want to show you how you go about finding it. So go to my store, and let me see, I can put my shop, aprildavis.stampinup.net. Once you go to my store, click on shop now, and then basically what you're going to do, let me see if I can get to my keyboard so I can, my computer is being a little slow. But once it comes up, go to search, and then you can type in anything that you want to. This is actually loveliest, lovely. How come I can't, loveliest. Why am I not spelling this right? Loveliest layers. Oh my gosh. Okay, here it is. Loveliest layers, decorative masks. Actually, it's on clearance, so we're not going to have it around much longer. And but look, it used to. There you have 5 masks in this set. Normally sold for $10.50, on sale for $6 $4.30. So you basically save $4.20. So go out and look. There's a lot of great products, and if there's something that you see that you really would like and it's 60% off, I would take advantage of it. The last thing that I want to do is I just want to go over again the to-go class. I'm not going to get into it in great detail because all of the information is in my on my website underneath to-go classes, and then if you scroll down, it's all right here. What I want to remind you of is to remember to use the host code, and so that I know that you're interested in this particular to-go class. The to-go class is free if you're interested for an order in my online store, either a $40 or a $50 online order in my online store. And this week, I'm giving the 2023-2025 in color dots for orders of $50 or more. So that's all the time that I'm going to spend on that because we've got some work to do when it comes to, let me pull these down, the cards that we're making tonight. I decided that we are going to venture back into the main catalog, and I wanted to go a little bit whimsical today. I'm going to do a couple things here. I wanted to go a little bit whimsical. We've been doing holiday cards and winter cards, and I just wanted to have a little bit of fun. And one of the reasons that I brought this in is because I'm one of those that when I look at these stamp sets, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I have to think about it quite a bit. And then I'm watching people as they are utilizing these stamp sets. And then my creative juices start to flow. And so I get creative. And also, I spend, some time out on Pinterest. I spend time on YouTube. There are some amazing demonstrators that create some amazing cards, and they actually get me motivated as well. So today or tonight, we're utilizing the bird's eye view. There are no dies. It's not a bundle. It's just a stamp set. But I wanted to show you the cards that we're going to make with this stamp set. So this is card number 1. What's new? It says we've got our second card, which is a Studious bird, just a note. And then we've got a cool bird. He's like, hey there. I don't know if you can see the hey there. Let me see if I can take this down and bring it back. Give me just 1 second. Whoops. Okay, now we're going to go back. Let me try it again. Okay, there you go. Now you can see, hey there. So we're going to make these 3 cards tonight. They were so fun. I had a lot of fun creating them from inspiration that I had. The first one that we're going to create has a lot of elements to it. This was inspired by Erica Serwin, who is a $1 million demonstrator, and I loved what she did with this card. So I'm going to bring my kit out to show you what we're going to be working with. We have our basic white cardstock, which is going to be our base. We're working with fresh freesia. That's going to be our first layer, and we're going to actually stencil on top of this. I have a piece of vellum that we're going to utilize. I've got a few pieces of cardstock just for stamping on. I've got a window sheet that we're going to utilize, and I'm going to show you how we're going to make a floating circle. And then basically what I did, these are cut and I've got them held together right now, but I am utilizing let me pull this up here just so you can see it, the Meandering Meadows paper. It's online, it's in the online store, but it's a beautiful pack of paper and lots of fun colors in it. And that's one side, and then you've got the other side as well. But I decided to go ahead and utilize this, and I've got the flowers that I wanted to kind of keep in the same order. And so after I cut them in strips, these are half inch strips. Yes, they're half inch strips. These are half inch strips. I wanted to keep them in order as I create this floating circle. So that's the first thing that we're going to do, is we're going to create the floating circle. move this other stuff out of the way for you. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the window sheet. I'm going to line it up on my grid. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to start with the bottom strip that I have. And basically what we're going to do is we are going to adhere it to our window sheet. Now I'm going to do my best. I may have to pull it down just a little bit. I'm going to pull it down just enough that I can see, but I want you guys to be able to see as well. But we're going to utilize the Stampin' Seal because we're on acetate, and I don't want to utilize glue just because the glue, number one, is kind of messy when it comes to an acetate. So I'm going to go ahead and get this lined up, and then I'm going to line it up with the first 1/2 inch. We've got it on there, okay? So stick with me, we're going to get there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to move it down just a little bit. I want you guys to still be able to see, but I'm going to take my second strip, I'm going to pull it off, and basically I'm just going to take it up 1/4 inch. So I'm going to put more seal on the back of it. I'm going to use my grid. This glass mat is actually going to be free to new demonstrators who decide to join Stampin' Up! In the months of January and February. I'm always looking to build my team, and I'm hoping that this glass mat, in addition to the discounts that you receive as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, are enough to get you excited to want to join my team. And I can share more information if you're interested. But the glass mat is free. If you decide you don't want the glass mat, Stampin' Up! Is going to give you an additional $30 in Stampin' Up! Products free in lieu of the glass mat. So for $99, you will get $125 worth of Stampin' Up! Products, your choice, and the glass mat for an additional $30 on top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish putting some seal on this, going up another 1/4 inch, and I should be basically at the top of my window sheet. Okay, so now that I've got all of these adhered, I'm going to actually take my snips and I'm going to snip the sides off, because what we're going to do is we're going to run this through the cut and emboss, and we're going to make a circle out of it. And this is what they call a floating circle, and you'll see what I mean here in just a minute. So let me go ahead and get this all snipped off, and then we'll get it cleaned up. All right, so now we've got that. Let's get these pieces out of the way. Put them in my little bin. I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss. Turn it around so that I can utilize it. And I am going to be using the circle die that comes from my Stylish Shapes die set. You've seen this a number of times. And let me get my plates out. I've got them here. And the other thing that I'm going to do is, when I was trying to cut through this acetate, or window sheet, it's acetate. When I was trying to cut through it earlier, it was, it's just a little bit more difficult to cut through because it's thicker than paper. So I am going to put like a little shim in here to help me along. So let me put my layers in the way that I need to. I'm going to take my shim and I'm just going to put it right underneath here. And then we're going to crank this through. And I'm going to crank it through forward and backward, hoping that between the two of those, we'll cut through it. It does cut through. It just takes a little bit more patience because it is acetate or a window sheet, and it's thicker. So I'm just gonna crank it through again. I'm gonna do this a couple times. Okay, let's bring it back out. All right, let's set this aside and see if we got it cut. All right, let's see. It's cut, but I've got to help it along a little bit because this is plastic. And I feel like some of it cut, well, some of it cut really well and other parts of it didn't cut so well. So what we're gonna do, and I'm not even surprised, I had a feeling that we'd do this. So I'm going to actually fold this in half. I'm gonna make my shim a little bit thicker. I'm gonna put my window sheet back together. Let me get it lined up, because basically you can see the grooves in the die. All you have to do is fit them back into your cut, where they were cutting initially. And hopefully, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it 2 different ways. So my shim is a little bit thicker. I don't want it on top though. I want it underneath. So we're going to do this. All right, so let's run this through this time this way. A thicker shim. And then I'm going to turn it just so that I make sure that I get everything cut. And what I mean by that is that my shim is fairly thin, or not thin, but narrow, I should say. So let me pull this off. Make sure that I get it lined up appropriately again. It's lined up appropriately. Now I'm going to run it back through again. When I was doing this earlier, I was using my big cut and emboss, and I had a shim on it as well. It's basically a thick plastic. Hopefully there's a few pieces here that I think are going to need a little bit of help. So what I'm going to do, just those few pieces I'm going to snip. So we'll snip this here. And then it looks like I've got a little piece. Whoop, that one went ahead. And I've got a little piece right here I need to snip. There we go. So now we have our floating window. So let me move this stuff off to the side, and we're going to go to the next step of our card. And that is, we are going to do some stenciling. So remember I told you that we were going to use the Loveliest Layers stencil. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Fresh Freesia cardstock layer, and I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to center my stencil over my cardstock. And when I have it where I want it, then I'm just going to take some tape. Let me see. Take some tape up here and lay it down, because I want to hold the stencil in place, basically. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my brushes, blending brushes. I'm going to take Fresh Freesia, so I'm doing tone on tone. And I'm now going to blend color. And remember, with the glass mat, you can do this without making a big mess, because I've got a little rag that we can pull all that off of. So, and the other thing I like about using the glass mat is I may pounce it off just because I don't want to have any stark color right at first when I start my blending, meaning I don't want to go into my stencil and have a really dark spot. So I pounce off a little bit and then I can go around. And then the nice part about the glass mat is I can reuse that ink. I can just pick it up. So if it's not dark enough, I can come back in here. But basically, I'm just rubbing or going in circles with my blending brush. You can go as dark as you want, as light as you want. You can do light in the outer edges and get darker towards the center. But once you're done with your blending, then you'll pull up your stencil, and now you've got your background for your card. So I'm going to pull this off to the side. I will clean that up later. However, now what I want to do is I want to clean my glass mat. So I'm going to push this off to the side, and then I can just use my rag that comes with the glass mat to go ahead and clean this off. So get all the ink off, and I'm ready to start creating again. So let me bring back the pieces of my card. I've got my background. I've got my card base. I'm going to go ahead and fold it. Found my bone folder that I didn't have last week. And I'm going to start with my layering. So the first layer is going to be my stenciled layer. So we'll go ahead and get that down. All right, very good. And then the next layer is going to be my vellum. Now, remember when you're working with vellum, you can't just haphazardly add glue to your vellum. So what I'm going to do is I can go ahead and set it on my card for now, but I wanted to show you the reason that they call this as a floating window is because when you put dimensionals on it, it will float and it looks like the paper strips are floating. So I'm going to pull out some mini dimensionals. Let me see if I can grab those. Here we go. I'm going to pull out some mini dimensionals. And basically what I'm going to do, let me see, where's my back? Here's my back. I'm going to put mini dimensionals on the back of my strips. That way nobody's going to see them. It will adhere my floating window to my card, to the vellum. And then once I have my floating window adhered to the vellum, what will happen is I've got some space then that I can actually put glue on in order to get it to adhere to my card. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So I think I'm going to go with that. I don't think I need some additional on the smaller strips. But basically what I want to do is I just want my window to float in the middle of the vellum. So I'm going to take my take your pick, and I'm going to have it help me pull all the backs off of my little mini dimensionals. Okay. And now I'm ready to go ahead and get this centered. What do I think I want this to be my top. So I'm going to go ahead and center it from side to side and top to bottom. If you don't get it right the first time, fortunately vellum is forgiving when it comes to dimensionals. So let me play around with this for just a second while I get it aligned. Okay, I think this is what I want. Looks good to me. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my vellum and I'm just going to angle it onto my card. But what I wanted to show you is now I can put glue on the back of my vellum because I've got little strips to hide that glue. So I'm just going to take glue and put it right behind where I already have strips, and you'll never see the glue. The vellum isn't going to be glued down completely. It's still going to be loose on the edges, but it will be tacked down enough that you don't have to worry about it. So let me go ahead and get this tilted the way that I want it. And I'm going to take one of my blocks and I'm just going to put it on top for just a second while I pull out the my little birds that we're going to do. And actually, let me move this off to the side. We'll let it dry a little bit. We need to do some stamping. We need to do the sentiment. And I wanted to show you a fun little stamp set that we've got. It's called Charming Sentiments. And for this particular one, we're going to do What's New. So I think I already have the What's New out. So we're going to go, oh, that's Hey There. Let's see, What's New is here. I'm sure it is. I think. Do I have it out? Maybe it's in here. What's New is out. That means it's on a stamp set that's in front of me that I'm not seeing. Well, I know it's here. It's not in here. Nope. Huh. Well, I guess we're going to do Hey There. Oh, here it is. Duh. You know, see where it's at? I used the block that I was using to hold down my window. Like, I don't know where it went. Okay, anyway, it's right here. So I'm going to pull this out, and then you have dies that cut out, and I probably should have pulled, well, did I do that? I did pull it out. Great, because I've got another one that we're going to be utilizing too. But basically, all of these dies cut out your word and all around it. So you can see, and you'll see again when I actually do it, but the die fits around the sentiment. Let's go this way. The die fits around the sentiment. And so it cuts it out very close to the letters. So we've got What's New, and I'm actually going to be doing Hey There as well. And I don't think I have Hey There out. So give me just a second. Let me see if I can find Hey There. Hey There is one word as well. That's the only problem is it's like, okay, now which one is which? Hey There. Let's see, this might be it. I'm going to test it out. That doesn't look like it's going to, oh, wait a minute. Nope, that's not going to be it. I don't want to spend all my time looking through these, but they are a lot of fun to use, and I really wanted to share them with you just so that you could see what they looked like. Well, we'll look again in a minute. All right, so let me go ahead and put this off to the side, but this is the Charming Sentiments. We're going to go ahead and take our pimento ink. And this is actually a photopolymer stamp. So I am looking for my stamp pad that I'm going to stamp on just because I need a little bit of cushion. My silicone pad's down here too, but I just want a little bit of cushion so I get a good connection with the paper. So we're going to go ahead and stamp this straight down, straight up. I'm going to try that again. For some reason I have more ink on one side than the other. So let's do this again. What's up or what's new? That looks better to me. So we'll do that second one. Let me clean this off. Put this off to the side. And now we'll bring back the cut and emboss. Let me see. My die is, oh my gosh. Please tell me I didn't put the die back in the, did I put the die back in? Oh, silly me. I had it out and then I put it back. Did I do that? Oh my goodness. Well, let's go back in here and check it out. Let's see. I don't think that's it. What's new? Let's see if this is it. Well, good grief. That is it. Yay! Way easier than I thought. Can't believe I did that. Oh well. All right, so let's put that off to the side again. Let's bring in a little bit of tape just so that I can get this all lined up because it really is pretty tight with where it's cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll take that down. bring in the cut and emboss and my layers. We don't need my shim. And now we will lay what's new down and crank that through. Alrighty. There we go. See how cute that is? I just love that. Okay, so we've got that. So I don't know if you can hear it or not, but my daughter is upstairs and she's watching the K-State football game, and I'm hearing her yelling. I don't know if you can hear her, but I can hear her. So I'm guessing that maybe K-State maybe won. All right. Oh, and I've got some little birdies in here. I went ahead and because the floating window took a little bit more time, I wanted to go ahead and have the birds ready to go. So basically what I'm going to do with the birds now is I'm going to put dimensionals on both of them. And we'll adhere them down. And then, once we've got them down, we will, keep missing it, do our bow with our linen thread. And I've got some bling that we're going to put on it, and we'll be done with this card. It really, aside from the fact that you've just got to plan for your window, it really is a very simple card. All right, let's get the backs off of here. And we will put down bird number 1 and have him, there we go. And then we got little baby bird. I'm going to call it baby bird. And we'll put baby bird down over here. We're having a conversation. And then we'll put a couple more dimensionals. Let's see if I can get these to fit here. On my what's new. Okay. We'll put what's new up here and put that down. And then I've got some linen thread. I'm just going to tie a double bow here. I'm going to pull out my dots as well. But I'm just going to tie a double bow. The linen thread is so thin that as much as I enjoy using it, it doesn't make for a very good bow by itself. So what I like to do is just double up the thread, tie my bow, and then this is going to be one end. This is going to be my other end, so I'll pull these down, get these adjusted the way that I want. And I'm going to take my snips, and I'm going to cut down this side, and a little bit off at this side. And now what I can do is I can bring out my, actually I've got one on the back of my, on my nail. So I'm going to, this is kind of a crazy way to do this, but rather than waste it, I've got my little glue dot down there, and I'm going to put my little ribbon on the glue dot. We've got that, and then I'm going to bring out the embellishments that are here, right here. Move this stuff off to the side. And we'll go ahead and put a few embellishments on, and then this card will be done. All right, let's take this. We'll do a little one and a medium one. And then I'm going to take the larger one, and I'm going to put it right down here. All right, move this off to the side, and we have card number 1. So fun, and a lot of techniques in it. The window, utilizing the vellum, the stenciling on the cardstock to give you a little bit more of a background. So let's move on to card number 2. We've got our Studious bird, and I love the glasses. I just love the glasses. So let's pull this kit out so I can kind of show you what we've got going on here. We're using boho blue. We have a white layer of cardstock. Then we have a DSP, a designer series paper cardstock. And then I have another piece of basic white that we're going to stamp on. And then I cut out from the designer series paper a border. So let me just show you. The designer series paper is the Country Inn paper. It's all blues, but lots of different patterns. You can see that I've been cutting on it quite a bit, but I just love the various patterns that this paper has. So I'm incorporating a layer of it for just a main layer, and then I cut out a die, or a border, I should say. And basically how I did that is I used the Countryside Corners dies. And these dies, this particular bundle comes with one stamp, but what's really cool about this stamp is that you can line up the dies on it. As you can see, they're all various sizes of dies, and you can cut out from your stamp. Or basically what I did is I took a piece of designer series paper. I used the largest, I used the next to the largest, spread them apart, took some tape to hold them together, and cut out my border. So now I have a border for my larger cutout of the basic white, and we're going to use that piece to stamp on. So let's get things together here. All right, so let's go ahead, and before we start stamping, let's get our base card put together. So let me fold this over, use my bone folder, and then we're just going to put down our layers. So we've got layer 1, which is the white layer. So we'll get this done quick. Get it down. And we've got our next layer. We'll get it down. All right. There you go. And I'm not going to put the layer on our stamped piece until I'm done with my stamping. So we're going to start with the Memento Black and our bird, and we're going to just start getting him all put together. So let me find my big bird. Oh, moving my pieces around. All right, so let's get our books down first. And again, we're using photopolymer, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Pearson mat just so that I've got a little bit of cushion. And let me see, I want to stamp off. I just want to get some, just to make sure, yeah, I don't have a good, hold on. I just want to make sure that I've got, okay, that looks much better. I just like to test it before I actually go to my actual cardstock. So let's go ahead and put this one here. Okay. And then we're going to do our bird. So let's get him all put together. And I'm going to test him as well. Yeah, he looks good. So now I'm going to put him on top of the books. So let's do this. Okay. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to give him some glasses because he's a very smart bird and he loves to read. Okay, so let's get him lined up here with his glasses. And we're gonna go about right here. All right, he's got glasses. So let's go ahead and get these cleaned up. And I'm actually gonna be doing some coloring on him, obviously. But while we've got the inks out, let's go ahead and finish creating the rest of the background. And then we'll go back in and we'll color him. So let me get these all cleaned up. Okay, the colors that we're going to use are Misty Moonlight, and let me see, we've got Misty Moonlight, and I was going to use Boho Blue, but it doesn't look like it made it over here that I can see. So we may, that's Night of Navy. We'll just go with the two colors. I'm going to be utilizing, where's my set? The Petal Park stamp set. And the Petal Park stamp set has these fun little flowers that we're going to be utilizing. And I'm going to actually just start stamping around, except for I'm going to actually bring my piece of paper out here because I'm going to be stamping off in a number of places. So we've got Misty Moonlight, and then I think I'll do my little dots in just a dark. Or you know what I'll do? I'll stamp off and then it won't be quite so dark. So stamp off, and then I'm going to put a flower down. And then I'm going to stamp off, and I'm going to put a flower over here. And I'm just going to create my background. Stamping off makes it a little bit lighter because I'm changing up my color scheme just a little bit since I didn't have one of my colors make it over here before I started the class. So let's go ahead and stamp off over here. And I'm just going to go all the way around, just haphazardly. And then I think I'm going to put one more right here, right there. Okay. Is that it? Okay. I think that's what I want there. Then I'm going to bring out the Night of Navy. The Night of Navy we're going to utilize as well. I'm going to test it, but we're going to be utilizing these little dots. Can you see these? They're just little bitty dots. And they're what make those dots. Now, one of the things that I can tell you with respect to these dots is that you need to use a light hand with these dots. Just a light hand. So I'm going to stamp, okay, just down and up. Down and up. If you push, it will squish. And when you squish, then you have squish dots. And you don't really want squish dots. So we're going to do this. Okay. Move these over just a little bit. You can go off. Okay. I think that's good. I don't want to get carried away. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. And let's get these stamps clean. Okay. Oh. Here we go. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out my alcohol pens, my Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to color in the owl, or I call it an owl. I'm going to color in the bird. So we're going to make the bird brown. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to use pecan pie, and I'm going to color the main part of his head in the light, and then I'll come in with the darker color to shade. So we've got this, and I'm coloring around. I've got to color in where his glasses are, because that's part of his face. So we'll get that done. And while I'm coloring, I would be interested to know, how was everyone's Christmas? Was it busy? Was it relaxing? I know for me, for the most part, it was actually pretty relaxing. We had several Christmases. We always celebrate with my side of the family, and then we celebrate with my husband's side of the family. So we did have several Christmases that we did, but it went really, really well. The rest of the time I spent creating down in my craft room. And my mom was here, so we got to spend some fun time together, and I really enjoyed it. I can't believe Christmas has come and gone. My husband, while I was down here working today, my husband took down all the Christmas decorations. It was kind of surreal. It's like the Christmas decorations have been up for, well, since right after Thanksgiving, and it doesn't seem like they've been up that long, but apparently they have been, and now it's time to take them down. It's just so, I don't know, I can't believe it's over already. And now we're looking into the new year. So what I'm gonna do with him now is I have a pen, it's called the Color Lifter. And so because this is such a dark color, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my color lifter and I'm going to draw in where these little feather marks are. It seems like my color lifter is a little watery, it appears. It's okay. And then I'm going to do it also along her chest. I may have to color in the wings again because it looks like the lifter really lifted the color out of the wings completely. But if you can see in this card, I did the same thing and didn't have any issues at all. But for some reason, this color lifter is really lifting the color tonight. So we'll go ahead and color the wings back in again. I also want to take my crumb cake, or actually a soft suede. I'm going to do soft suede. This is the dark, and so I'm going to do the binding on my book in soft suede, and then I will do the center part of the book in the light soft suede. And we'll go ahead and get this colored in. Then another one of my books is going to be in cherry, or let me see, cherry cobbler maybe? Oh, nope, dark melon mambo. Okay, so we're going to do dark melon mambo for this particular one. So we're going to do here and here. And then we'll go the opposite. I'm using the pen points or the nubs. So here we go. Not much difference in those. But we got the light and the dark. Okay. And then last but not least, we're going to bring in the boho blue. We're going to use the dark up here, the dark here, and then the top of the book and the side of the book will be the light boho. So we'll get this colored in. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of the dark and go along the edge here just to give it some shading. And then I've got a color, it's called ivory. I'm going to use the ivory for my pages. So let's go ahead and color in our pages. Okay, we've got our pages. The last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take, well, I say the last thing, I've got a couple things to do. I'm going to give him a little orange beak. Move these all out of the way. And I'm going to bring in my Wink of Stella. He's wearing glasses, and so you want the glasses to look kind of glassy. So I'll bring in the Wink of Stella. Let's see if I can get it flowing. I don't want it to flow too much, but I need to get it flowing. Do I have another one? There we go. So we'll go ahead and color this in. Let's see. A little bit it's coming out. There we go. I don't want too much. I just want to get... I'm going to try something here. See if this works. I'm going to try to lighten up the bleed that was going on with this. I don't know why this pen was so liquidy. I used it while I was creating the cards earlier. Anyway, hopefully that will work on that. But we've got Wink of Stella on the eyes, so there's a sparkle to the eyes, like he's got glasses on. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of him. I'm going to actually pull out the larger dimensionals, if I can find them. Here we go. So I'm going to put dimensionals on the back. And then we'll put the border around it. And then we'll have one more thing we need to do. Alrighty. I know, I like to use a lot of dimensionals. It just brings me joy. I don't know what else to say. I like to make sure that we've got plenty of support, and I could use, we've got, what do I want to say, dimension pads that, dimensional sheets that you can cut. And probably if I was going to do more of these, then I would probably do that. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some glue on the back of my border. And I'll go ahead and get that lined up with this. And we have one more thing to do, and this card will be done. So I'm going to take my strip of cardstock, and I have a little stamp here, just a note, and I'm going to pull out the, let's see, the Night of Navy. Excuse me. We'll put just a note here. Whoops. Let me try it again down here. Actually, I'm going to put it off. This is a rubber stamp, and so I don't want it to be too soft. Down and then up. Perfect. Just the way I like it. Get that cleaned off. Close this up. And then I'm just going to take my snips and I'm going to cut straight across. And I'm going to cut angled, angled, and then I can take a couple of mini dimensionals. Oops. Put that off to the side. And then we'll put our just a note right here. Okay. Yep. And now we have card number 2 done. Yay. So let's move into card number 3. Card number 3 is a very simple card. I usually save the simplest for last. Because it doesn't really take much time or effort. I'm trying to get rid of all these dimensionals so that I can clean up my mess here just a little bit. But there's not very much to this card. You'll see. I'm going to pull the kit out. And you have the basic white cardstock. You have a petal pink layer. You have a designer series paper layer. You've got the layer that we're going to stamp the bird on. And then I was looking for the die for the hey there, but we don't need the die for the hey there because we're going to stamp right on the designer series paper for the hey there. So let's get started with that. We've got a couple of things that we need to stamp with respect to the designer series paper. So I'm going to bring my pad back in, and we will start with trying to clean up some space here. We're going to start with the Memento Black and my hey there. Let's get a good coverage on it. Okay, and then we're going to stamp it right down here at the bottom. Hey there. So we got that. And then let's see where I did with my stamp and chamois. Clean that off. There we go. Close this up. I'm going to pull out, hopefully I did that. We are going to stamp with the inked and tiled stamps, and we've got what I'm going to call a branch, and then we've got some leaves. So I need to do a little bit of shifting around. I'm going to pull this stamp off of here, and I'm going to share this with the branch that we're going to do. And I'm going to actually utilize our markers. These are our Stampin' Write markers. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a nice branch. And I'm actually going to bring my scrap paper in because we're going to be stamping off. But I'm basically just going to, I only want the one branch. So the nice part about this marker is that I only have to color part of it. I don't want to color the whole thing because I just want the branch. So you can see that there's a part of it that I'm not even touching. So we'll get this done, and my ink is still wet, so I shouldn't have to huff on it too terribly much. Okay, and then we're going to come in about right here or so, and I'm just going to stamp. I'm trying to create a tree branch. So there's a little bit of that one, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Let me clean this off, and I'm going to switch, and I'm going to put my leaves on it. Okay, that's nice and clean. So we'll put this one off to the side, and I'm going to put my leaves on this one. Okay, and again, I'm going to take my Stampin' Write marker, and I want the brush end, and I'm going to color in the branch for these leaves. So we'll do this, goes up in here a little bit. And then we'll take the garden green, and I'm going to color in the leaves. So we'll get that all done. Got this all colored up. I'm going to huff on it just to moisten the ink. And then I'm going to try to line this up right about here in my existing branch, and then press this down. And we have our tree. I may decide to take this and just kind of try to connect it just a little bit. I'm going to go light because I really didn't want the, there we go. Just connecting it a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's clean this up. And now we're going to create our cool bird. Okay, so I've got this done. Now we're going to take the piece of paper that we had for our bird, put that off the side, and then we need, where's my bird? Did I pull my bird off? Yeah, I pulled my bird off. I need to put my bird back on. Didn't have enough blocks over here tonight. So we're going to stamp in Memento Black. Bring my pad back in. Let's make sure I get it good. All right. So let's go ahead and stamp our bird. So we've got him. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get his glasses, his cool glasses. So let's get these. And then get them lined up. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to start coloring him in. So I'm going to do him in Dark Lagoon. So we're going to do the light lagoon, the lighter of the Lost Lagoon, sorry. We're going to do that on his belly. So we'll get this all colored in. And then we'll do Dark Lost Lagoon on his wings. And then we're going to do, let that dry up a little bit. We're going to do Daffodil Delight. Let me see, let me do the lighter. Light daffodil, we're going to color this in. Coloring takes a little bit longer, but it's fun, especially with these whimsical little birds, just to kind of add some whimsy to them by being able to change up their colors and give them various glasses and, you know, whatever it might be. It takes a little bit more time, but it is fun. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight that up a little bit. And I'm going to just circle this around to blend it in. So I'm trying to add some highlight. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to take the dark Lost Lagoon, and I'm just going to go along his wing. His wing, right along here. And then we'll take it and we'll put it on his chest, just to give some texture to his chest with the darker color. Okay, now we need to give him some sunglasses. So I'm going to take my Stampin' Blends in the basic black. I want to use the nib. I keep pulling off the brush tip, but I want to use the nib because I have more control if I'm using the nib. So the bullet point side. So I'm coloring in the glasses. Oh, he's so cool. All right, let's give him a little bit of a nose. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I have a white gel marker. And basically what I'm going to do with my white gel, make sure it's working, is I'm going to put some highlights into his glasses. So we'll put a few highlights there. Now he's ready to be cut out. So I'm going to take my snips and we're just going to do a quick cut. Easy cut. The hard part is when I get to the feet because I don't want to cut his feet off. But the rest of it is pretty simple. And so with this particular one, that's why the ones I did earlier, I already went ahead and fussy cut them out, colored them and fussy cut them out because I knew it was going to take a little bit more time when you're coloring and you're fussy cutting. I try to keep these fairly, well, right around an hour. Sometimes, you know, I go over a bit more, but for the most part, I try to. It just depends upon how much I want to share with you before I actually get into the class. So, you know, tonight I wanted to share the cards with you, and the sale that they've got going on right now, so you guys didn't miss out on that. So the last chance sale. All right, almost done here. Around here. And I think I'll just, I guess I'll cut them out. I was just going to keep the white there, but I'll cut it out. Cut this around this way. There we go. All right, he's all ready to go. So let's start putting this card together. So we've got the white cardstock. Let me pull some of the stuff out of the way. I've got so much stuff on the table. Let's go ahead and fold this. Use the brown folder. And then we are going to put on the first layer, which is the pink. Okay, so we've got that. And then we will put on our second layer, which is the designer series paper. Let me make sure I got this centered. Okay. Now we've got our designer series paper. Get that centered. There we go. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on him, and I've got some big dimensionals, so we'll go ahead and use the big dimensionals. Let's get those on. And we'll get him propped up on the tree. And he's so cool. He says, "Hey there." So we'll get him on the tree. There we go. And last but not least, I'm going to bring in just a little bit of bling. I'm using the pastel sequins, but I like the gold. So I'm going to take a little bit of gold. And I think I'm going to put one here. And maybe one right here. And then we'll put another one right down. Let's see, right down about here. Okay. And that is card number 3. So let me pull this stuff off to the side, clean this up a bit, and I'll bring the cards all back in again. Let's see, we've got this guy, and then we've got my floating window, my little birds here. So fun. These guys are so cool. This is the Bird's Eye View stamp set. And you can have a lot of fun with it and do a lot of fun things with it. Let me bring myself back up to you guys. Am I there? Not yet. Where am I? There I am. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I know I went a little bit over, but it was fun, and I can't wait until next year when I'm able to bring to you some new bundles that are in the new catalogs. The new catalogs go live on January the 4th. Celebration is exciting, and I've got so much to share with you. Remember, this is a to-go class. If you're interested, go out to my website. Let me put this up here really quick. Go out to the website. The website has all the information for you. You've got that. And I just want to end by saying thank you to everybody. I've so enjoyed this year and getting to know you guys and share with you guys. And I'm looking forward to next year. So Happy New Year to everyone. I'll see you in the new year. Take care. Bye.